Yes, we are indeed, and it's time to get real talk relationships. Now, we all know the saying, first comes marriage, or first comes love, then comes marriage, then comes the baby and the golden carriage, right? But nowhere there does it ever talk about moving in together. And it's people have this view of it that it's going to be like in the rom-coms and whatever, but it's never like that, really.
Never,
right?
never, ever like that. So we went out onto the streets to find out what some people think in terms of moving in together.
Yeah.
When should you do it? When is the right time? Should you even do it? And this is what some regular South Africans had to say about the topic.
Basically, the right time to move in with your partner is when you guys are really ready to tie the knot, like when you, engaged. And most of the time, you should really wait until the wedding to move in together.
I think there's no specific time, rather when you guys both are into it.
I think after a few years when you can actually afford it, it's quite good.
Yeah.
When you're not like relying on someone else's money or anything.
It will take some couple of years for me to move in with the right partner. Because, I mean, there are things such as trust that you have to put along.
There's never a right time because, as the saying goes, you only learn that person when you live with that person. So it's actually a gamble.
Wow, so definitely some mixed responses there. Well, with us in studio, we're joined by our resident relationship therapist, Dr. Eve, to chat about the dynamics of living together and how to deal with the issues that arise. Dr. Eve will also be taking your calls on 083-913-3728. Dr. Eve, how are you?
Nice to be back.
It's so good to have you back. We missed you. 3 weeks is way, way, way too long.
Yeah.
So we saw that there were many mixed responses there. When it comes to moving in together, living together, it's a big step in any relationship. When should one do it? Should one even be doing it?
You know, Leigh-anne, I find that people are moving in together very, very quickly.
Yeah.
It's like you were saying just now, love and marriage, and that it doesn't happen like that, Katlego, anymore. People meet and it's like, well, you know, I've got nowhere to live, or actually my rent is up, and they begin living together in a heartbeat. The other thing that I notice has really become a big trend is that a form of commitment is no longer marriage or a ring, a symbol of something. It's buying a house together. Couples take that really, really seriously. It's like, we're really serious about each other. This is a significant relationship, and we're going to show this by buying a house together. And then we'll think about getting married. So marriage is kind of not the first sign of commitment any longer.
It's property.
It's buying property. I don't even know if it's about love. I think it's about really thinking about investment. I think that young people are quite pragmatic today, and it's about investment, and it's about joining forces and saving money, and let's do this together. And buying a property seems a very, very strong form of commitment. And then it's like, should we get married? And then it's like, well, should we actually be having a child as well? So there seems to be like a different focus on this living together situation. What it used to be is no longer what it is today.
Yeah, how the times have changed. Now, speaking of which, an article in Time magazine recently showed that about 2/3 of couples move in together before even getting married, but there was no direct correlation between couples staying together and getting divorced in that sense. But would you think, in your professional opinion, that you're more likely to stay together if you do move in together before marriage?
What's interesting that it seems as if people live together and then when they get married, they get divorced much quicker.
Whoa.
And the reason for that is because there's so many expectations that come along with this thing called marriage, that people then go into a different phase of relationship once they actually get married. So they can live together and they know, well, there's still like a back door. We're not like officially together. We're committed, and we may even have bought property. But the moment that people go into what's called monogamy, or what's called heteronormative monogamy. I've just come back from a conference in Lisbon, so I'm kind of learning all these new terms. People then have expectations. The moment we have expectations, there are a sense of disappointment. So the relationship feels very different. It's like, now, why don't you take out the garbage? Whereas before it was like, okay, sweetie, would you take out the garbage? Or I think somebody's turn is to take... Now it's like, I expect you to do that, or I expect certain things from you because we have this thing, this label called marriage on our heads.
Yeah. Well, we continue chatting to Dr. Eve after the break. Call us on 083-913-3728 if you have any questions to ask regarding this. We're talking about living together, or as my grandmother would put it back in the day, vat en sit. We'll be right back after this.